Welcome to today's lesson on strategic thinking. My name is VIVIAN MAIKWEKI. In today's lesson, we will achieve the following objectives. 1. We will define what strategic thinking is. Secondly, we will differentiate strategic thinking from strategic planning. And thirdly, we will identify the main components in strategic thinking. Welcome to the lesson. In order to understand this term clearly, it is important for us to understand the two terms that make up the word strategic thinking. Strategy is a comprehensive, fully integrated collective set of choices established by the organization's leadership. In other words, it is a plan of action that is designed to achieve a long-term or overall aim. Thinking, on the other hand, is an aim-oriented flow of ideas and associations that can lead to a reality-oriented conclusion. What then is the difference between strategic thinking and strategic planning? On the one hand, strategic thinking is a synthesizing process which utilizes intuition and creativity to come up with an integrated perspective of the enterprise. On the other hand, strategic planning is an analytical process aimed at programming already identified strategies. Its outcome is a plan, and therein lies the difference. Whereas strategic planning results in a plan, strategic thinking results in a whole picture of the organization. It is therefore possible to say that strategic thinking comprises of strategic planning as a component. Strategic thinking involves both formulation and execution of strategies by business leaders, leading to strategic performance of the total enterprise. It is important to emphasize the fact that strategic thinking focuses on intuition and creativity from an open systems perspective and hinges on the creation of synthesis between the organization's structure and its strategies. Further on, we need to understand what the components of strategic thinking are. According to Lietka, strategic thinking has 5 main components. These components are important to us because they help us to understand the organization better. First of all, the first component is that strategic thinking is intent focused. This means that the organization is concerned with shaping and reshaping the intent of the organization. Secondly, strategic thinking happens in time. This implies that for that organization, the past, the present, and the future are important. Every organization will operate from its memory, and therefore it is important to refer back to the organization's memory. The third component of strategic thinking is that it takes a systems perspective. This implies that the organization is viewed as a system comprising of the internal environment and the external environment. The internal environment and the external environment come together and give the total environment of the organization. That foundation helps the organization to be viewed as a whole. The next component of strategic thinking is intelligent opportunism. Generally, organizations need to be adaptive and flexible to changes. They need to be able to pick up the new opportunities that present themselves as they move on. Finally, strategic thinking is hypothesis driven. This involves making judgment about what we think is important and what is not. and therefore strategic thinking is both creative and critical. Hypothesis creation incorporates, therefore, both creative thinking and critical thinking. In conclusion, we have learned that strategic thinking is about viewing the organization as a whole. We have also known that strategic thinking is different from strategic planning. And thirdly, we have looked at the 5 components that make up strategic thinking. Thank you for listening in today's lesson. I hope to see you in our next lesson. Bye.